Last season, defense was a struggle for the Kentucky Wildcats, but this year, Mark Pope has done an excellent job recruiting players and we think implementing things in practice that should make this Kentucky defense elite. We'll talk about that today on the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI. Joined, as always, by Carson Nash. Carson, we got a little early morning record sesh. You know, it's but the vibes are high. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
One thing that I think that if y'all have been listening for a while, you all should know about Carson and I is the vibes are always high on a Friday.
Always. I'm ecstatic for this weekend. You know, we get to go hang out down by the lake a little bit, go get into some mischief. It's been a while, so I'm excited.
Yeah, mischief. I mean, the Sprite in the lake. Chef's kiss. That's some good stuff, right?
Got to get the diaper going,
dude. The diaper, yeah, that's good stuff. I'm just like I'm like a dog on the first day of pheasant hunting season, pulling at the chain. Yeah, let's go. But we want to talk about defense today. You know, we've obviously discussed this Kentucky defense some over the last few weeks, months, but we haven't really had an episode dedicated to the defense. And I think we're well due to talk about it because this Kentucky defense is going to be the difference maker for me between last year's team to this year's team. Last year's team was elite offensively. We believe that'll be the case this year as well. But last year, the defense struggled. It got progressively better. I mean, we talked about it. At one point during the season, the defense was ranked 150th in KenPom, and it finished at 55. So it got better, but it did ultimately bite us in the behind against Tennessee at the end of the season. I mean, we couldn't get a rebound. We couldn't defend, and that's what sent us home early last year in the NCAA tournament after losing the Sweet 16. But I think Coach Pope has done an excellent job recruiting and I think developing defense, because every time we hear from these players at these weekly interviews, they are talking about the importance of defense. And I just think that the coaching staff is really implementing that this offseason.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, how many times did we get burned last season on defensive alone? It felt like there were games where you had to make 23 pointers just to even hang in the game. Yeah. And this year, Pope made an emphasis on that and recruiting through the transfer portal and bringing back some key defensive guys. So I think we're going to shore up that defensive end so quickly. And it might not start off the best because we got to get our chemistry down, but it'll get progressively better and be much, much better than last season because of the athletes that we have on the team now.
Tell me if you think you disagree with this statement, Carson. I think the only place that we downgraded defensively from last season is at point guard. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And, I think there's a misconception about Lowe. He is, I mean, I'm not saying he's not Lamont Butler, okay? And we can all agree on that. That's a fact. But he's also not a bad defender. I'm not saying he's not saying he's the best defender in the world, but he did almost average 2 steals a game last year. He's got quick hands. The on-ball defense, he can improve, but I think that he is not I don't think he's going to get exposed like you would see in like Ainsley did at times last year and Carr did when he was dealing with his old man back. I don't think you're going to see Lowe get exposed. I think that there'll be a play or two where you go, come on, Lowe, play a little better defense than that. But I don't think he's going to kill us in any games.
No, what I love too is the depth of quality of defense that we have, because there were times last season where I got so frustrated when Lamont got dinged up, Carr had a bad back, and then you're playing Ainsley and Travis Perry, and you're like, oh my God, they're going to score on every single possession. We literally have to just outshoot them. That's the only way we can stay in this game. And so this year you got Denzel Aberdeen coming off the bench. You got, depending on who you want it for, you got Mo D or Yelovich coming off the bench, which Yelovich is still a little question mark. Starting to not get concerned yet, but I mean, it's taken some time for sure.
Weird stuff. I agree with you.
Yeah, you just have so much more quality and depth in your defensive abilities. Like Cam Williams, Jasper is going to be a decent defender. I mean, instead of dropping off cataclysmically, like with freaking Ansley Almanor and Travis Perry, you got some guys that are actually going to go out there and defend and hold their own.
Well, I mean, Otega is a great defender. Mo D is an incredible defender. JQ is probably, has a shot to win Defensive Player of the Year in college basketball. And then you take a gander, Aberdeen, good defender. Colin Chandler plays solid defense. Cam Williams plays solid defense. Like, these guys, and what I like about it is they take pride in it. That's the thing that I've been noticing in these player interviews is they talk about taking pride in defense. And I just don't think last year's team took pride in defense. And this is back-to-back seasons Kentucky basketball teams have been killed by bad defense. The Dillingham and Shepherd year, Reeves year, we were great offensively. Same last year. And the defense held us back. And there's a reason, we always talk about that stat. You got to be whatever. We always forget the exact numbers, but, top 20 in offense and 30 and do whatever in KenPom to, make a run historically. Like, that's been a factor over the last 25 years, whatever it is. It's true. You look at the Final Fours over the last handful of years and look at the teams that made it. They were solid on both sides of the ball in KenPom. We have to be better defensively. And I'll tell you what, Carl. Okay, I don't, and I'm going to say this. I don't think this is going to be too crazy. Do you think our defensive grade could be better than our offensive grade this year? How crazy?
Yeah,
is it? You tell me.
I don't think it's crazy. I think it a lot depends on JQ's healthy, if he's healthy. But yeah, that's not a crazy statement. Considering I believe highly in this defense. I think this could be a top 5 defense when it's all said and done, just because of how long and athletic and their ability defensively can be.
Well, and the other thing, I think for the folks that are concerned defensively, I haven't seen really any defensive concerns, but there's somebody out there that's concerned about this defense. And what I like to see last year from Coach Pope is, and this is what we're kind of talking about, is I truly believe last season it was a personnel issue. I thought Pope did an excellent job at times switching from man to zone to, these different styles and defensive looks. That once again, I remember the first time we went into a zone and we were all, I don't remember if we were at the Burl Brew or if it was like I was just at the house on the couch watching with Mike and Cameron or whatever it was, but I just can't remember. But I just remember going, you're allowed to play zone?
We ran a little 1-3-1 against Gonzaga.
I think that's what it was. We were at the Burl, and we were going, man, we just haven't practiced the zone yet. We need to work on that.
1-3-1, that's nuts. Pull out the 1-3-1 in the Gonzaga game. I love it, though.
That's what it was. We were at the Burl for the Gonzaga game. That was the one where we had a lot of sprites, and then we kind of looked up and we went, oh, it's close again. We're like, that was
I have a 6 a.m. flight tomorrow.
That was the tough. Yeah. That was a rough one for you, buddy. That was tough. But, seriously, I think that was my takeaway from last year's defense was when Pope gets the athletes, this defense is going to be really good because he's got the brain. And that's one of the reasons Coach Pope is such a good basketball coach, other than just, all the other aspects, but the X's and O's, he's great. There were a lot of times last year where, once again, he made decisions where I'm like, it didn't work because we didn't have the personnel, but that was a great decision. And I think now that he has the personnel to go with his great coaching decisions, and he'll be able to watch film and go, we're going to throw the 1-3-1 at him. We're going to play man. We're going to throw a different zone look. Whatever they throw at him, Coach Pope's going to know, and he's going to have the personnel to do it at a high level.
Yeah, the word we keep coming back to on this channel, defensive diversity, right? Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of guys that can defend a lot of different positions and play out of positions at sometimes, but not get bullied or get blown by because of how athletic they are. So I'm super excited for this defense, and I think it's going to be light years compared to last year's defense.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of threes that can guard the 5. We got 5s that can guard the 1. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and act like that's ideal, but the point is a possession or two a game, they can hold their own. And that's what we didn't have last year. Once again, if Ainsley Almanor, we're not to pick on Ainsley, we love you, buddy. We're excited to watch you play for a lot.
DBT.
But if he ever got switched on a 1 or, Carr gets switched on a 1, we were
barbecue chicken alert.
Yeah, we were in trouble. I'll
Yeah.
never forget. I rewatched the
Tennessee game. It had to be when
yeah.
Carr came in.
the one play. He came, I love Andrew Carr, man. That's like one of my favorite players in a long time. But when he was dealing with the Boff back and he came in, and the old man back, and he came in the first possession, he gets blown by, dunk, and then pulled out of the game, and he played 1 minute the whole game. I was like, oh, no. Now he was hurt, to be fair, but I just don't think you're going to see. I mean, there'll be defensive breakdowns. It's basketball. I mean, this stuff's going to happen, but for the most part, the defense is going to be a positive part of this basketball team. We're not going to be a team that the defense holds us back. We're going to be a team that the defense lifts us up. And that is exciting because it's been a few years since Kentucky's had a good defensive team. And I like scoring, but I also like defense at times. I mean, I'm old school and boring. I mean, I like
you can rely on a good defense. You can't really rely on a good offense because you're going to have off nights no matter who you are. But you can rely on that good defense.
And that's the thing. The last 2 years, you've heard Carson and I, we started doing this like halfway through the Shepherd-Dillingham year. We talked about how I remember that Shepherd-Dillingham year, Carson, you and I gave up on the defense. We were like, we're going to have to put up 110. If we put up 110, we'll win.
Yeah.
That's the only shot we got. And I just think it's going to be nice to have a team this year that, like, I think 2 great examples for me were Ohio State and Ole Miss. You could probably loop Georgia in there, where
Texas
the defense. Who? Texas. Yeah, but at least we hung around there a little bit. I'm talking about these games were over before they started because those first 10 minutes we didn't score. We struggled to score, and our defense was terrible.
Any game we didn't have Lamont Butler, that was pretty much the same thing.
Part of the problem for sure, but. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think you're going to see that happen this year. I think if we come out of the gate 1 for 7, you're going to look and we're going to be down, 3-6 with like 13 or 14, 15 minutes left. You know what I mean? Like when last year, if you're 1 for 7, or you look at the scoreboard and we're down 13-2, and you go, oh boy! Like,
and I think if you're 1 for 7, you keep it within a couple points, and then you get 2 tips, steals, and you're back to 3 of 9, and you're back right in the game.
And I just think that's the difference is the defense is going to make us slow start proof because we'll have offensive slow starts. It's impossible not to have one. Every team has them. We're going to have them, but the defense is going to kind of, soften the blow of those slow starts. And that is why that's going to be important. But I mean, I think that Otega Oweh, Mo D, and Jayden Quaintance have all SEC defensive team upside. Personally, I think Mo D and JQ have defensive player of the year upside. I bet JQ doesn't win that because he misses a few games, and his stats will probably be less than whoever ends up winning it. But he's good enough to win it.
Yeah, I'll give you a sleeper too on the team who I think is going to be awesome defensively. Like, you can just run him in there just as a kind of a goon guy. Mm-hmm. I think Colin Chandler is going to be awesome defensively. I mean, he's 6'5", he's got a long wingspan, super athletic. I think you can put him in the game and be like, hey, that's their best player. You guard him as hard as you possibly can the whole entire time. I literally think he could be like that.
And I mean, literally make him if you're open, shoot a 3, but play lockdown defense, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. But the thing about it is, I think the difference is this year we don't have any like slouches on defense. We have guys that are better. Like I said, Jalen Lowe, defense is not his calling card, but he's not going to get exposed every single play. That's the difference. We had players last year that if you wanted to, you could expose them every single play. That is the difference between last year's team and this year's team.
Yeah, I think Denzel Aberdeen and Colin Chandler are the 2 guys because they're both 6'5". Yeah. They're both long, and they're both crazy athletes. So both of those guys should be crazy good defenders. So I'm really keeping my tabs on Colin Chandler because he got much, much better at the end of the year defensively. Like, we stuck him on the Jacksoponis or whatever guy. I remember the Illinois fans were so mad.
angry.
But who cares? We didn't need to learn your names. Like, we beat
You
the
all were
crap
going
out of
home
you.
in like 2 hours anyway.
Yeah.
Why do I know how to say Yakachonis?
Yeah.
I don't give a crap. Y'all lost anyway.
Yeah. So I think at the end of the season, we relied on Colin Chandler to bring that energy defensively. So I see a big year 2 for him in that category.
Did you see the Missouri fan comment yesterday?
Yeah.
Talking about Jason Crow, who's like, sounds like sour grapes to me. I need to respond and be like, I didn't know y'all had fans.
Yeah.
I really,
Mizzou fan. Oh,
we had 2 Mizzou fans in there. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a front for something. You all aren't Mizzou fans. They can't be real.
Yeah. And how about me with the early call out
of what?
Yeah, his dad's gonna get hired by them. So I just felt that way. It was no inside information. The way it goes nowadays. I mean, we've seen it so many times with Cade Cunningham, Lamar Wilkerson, Michael Porter Jr. Like, you could name a bunch of guys that they just follow relatives who get jobs because they're good at basketball. So I wasn't really shocked by it. I mean, especially like I said, it's Missouri. I knew what was going on from the start. No one just picks up and says, hey, I want to go live in Columbia, Missouri.
I mean, we talked about it. I thought the only things that could be happening there were NIL money, playing time. The coach we'll give you 16 shots a game. You can just chuck them. We don't care. Or something like that. And I mean, it just didn't. I've never seen a player like as much of like a lock as he was here to just kind of it was a weird situation. So that does make a lot of sense. And yeah, he commits in 7 days, and we assume that will be to Missouri.
And Darren Rippey Jr. Scheduled a visit. So yeah, I mean we've got an embarrassment of riches at the point guard position.
Yeah, there's a lot of good guys we're after. I'm not, and to say the sour grape and the whole sour grapes from the Missouri fan, enjoy the one game that he will win you all, because it doesn't really matter. He's a good player, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can't do it alone. I'll tell you that. Caleb Grill ain't coming back anytime soon. So
Mark Mitchell's done after this year, I'm pretty sure too.
Exactly. So yeah, you're not going to be seeing any more of those guys. So, but I don't like that stuff. Hiring, I think that's. I get it now. Recruiting it's a game, man. You got to find a way. You got to win. You got to, and I get it. But that stuff's just like, bro, come on.
It doesn't really affect me as much anymore because I was sitting there waiting on Cade Cunningham to commit. We already had BJ Boston, Terrence Clark. I thought it was going to complete the class, and then he's like, "Blood is thicker than water." That's how his announcement video started out, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. Mm-hmm. That was the one I wanted so bad, and they just went and hired his brother. I was so upset. That was kind of, for me, that was the dagger in the Cal era, honestly, not getting Cade right there.
Mm-hmm. He obviously went number 1. Now he's damn good for the Pistons, too. I kind of thought that after like the first maybe the first year in the league, he was a bit of a bust, but he actually turned.
Well, I mean, that Oklahoma State team he played for was god awful, and I don't know if they got in the tournament or almost got in the tournament, but Cade was carrying them every single night.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about. Like with stuff like this, like I don't. If I think Reed and Rob proved for like if it doesn't, you can go to a school that's good, that has good players and has a deep roster and average 11 points a game and be efficient from the field and prove yourself as a defender and get assists and go in the top 5. I don't, you know what I mean? I almost think coaches would rather NBA, scouts and coaches and GMs would rather see a player who proves they can fit a role than a guy that goes 5 for 17 every night.
In the NBA, when you go there, you start out as a role player who becomes better and better. Like Shea played for the Clippers. He was more of a role player, played backup point guard sparingly, became the point guard, took over, and then got traded for Paul George and a ton of first-round draft picks. And then look what happened now. He's the MVP.
What about a former Wildcat overtaking another former Wildcat for the highest annual salary in the NBA? Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Booker's deal. So Shea's deal.
Oh, that's right.
It was 5 years, $285 million.
Yeah.
So that's pocket change, but whatever. But he. I think
it's your money. I'd burn mine.
Yeah, I mean, $285 million, just a drop in the ocean, man.
Yeah.
But he signed that for $285, 5 years. It came out to like $71.25 per year, which was the highest annual salary in NBA history. Then D-Book signs a 2-year, and I don't remember what the number was, but it was $72.5 million per year. So we had a cat overtake a cat for the highest annual salary in NBA history. So that's pretty cool. So, obviously Booker kind of got handed the keys to the vehicle because KD's headed to Houston. So former Cats getting
a couple
paid.
more years till they can play in the TBT.
Yeah, you just wait for
50
Arkansas
by the time they can play it.
you just wait till Arkansas posts a graphic about D-Book and Shea's contract.
Yeah,
that's coming.
Like that would ever happen to an Arkansas player.
I know, but yeah. So I mean, to get out of here, Carson, the defense is going to be really special this season, and I think that it's held us back for 2 straight years, and it's been frustrating as hell. But that's not going to be the case this year. I think the defense, and it's not going to go from being bad to being serviceable. I think it's going to go from being bad to being potentially the best part of our. I
genuinely think we're top 10 right now. Yeah. That sounds crazy, but I think we're a top 10 defense.
I just don't think it is crazy. I mean, with the defense that you have in your front court, if these guards can just hold their own defensively, and like you said, you can have a player like Colin Chandler, you say, go lock that dude down. Don't let him.
And I think BG's going to get a whole lot better defensively. Mm-hmm. He has every tool serviceable to make that happen.
They're talking about how Moreno's been tough down there defensively. I just think we're going to be great defensively, top to bottom.
Moreno's like 7'2". I mean, they list him as like 7'1", but that dude is absolutely massive.
We have problems in the front court, and we have really good players and not enough spots to play them all. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just watched film on Moreno, and I say to myself, I'm like, I don't think he's going to play a ton of minutes, and that frustrates me because this kid's really good. I mean, I don't know.
JQ takes a little longer than expected. He's the backup center.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. I'm just saying that kid's going to be special. I mean,
did you see his full court shot he hit at the end of practice for the shoes?
They talked about that. Cam Williams in his interview, I forget what he said, but he was like, come on, bro. I mean, are you kidding me? He's making, he was like, we thought there was no shot in hell he was going to make that. It was pretty funny. Yeah, let me
set the scene for you. Indianapolis, Final Four.
Oh boy,
there's 2 seconds left against Duke in the national championship game. We inbounded to Moreno, Kentucky boy, and he hits that shot.
And we go, Leitner this, bitch, and then bang, and then Moreno hits a full quarter. Boom! That would be awesome. That would be ideal. That would be great. That would.
Oh man!
I think if we're inbounding the Malachi Moreno, though, we're probably down horrendous. But it would be awesome.
Hey, it's honestly a smart play though if you got not a lot of time because those big guys are a lot stronger than the guards.
They can chuck that son of a gun, that's for sure. So, all right, Carson, you got work to go attend to, and I guess technically I do too. Any other thoughts before we get out of here?
Oh, that's all I got. Hope everyone enjoys their weekend. Mm-hmm. Andrew enjoyed the Old Dominion last night at the Reds game.
Yeah, and the Reds won. I cared more about the Reds winning.
Yes. The Reds are making the playoffs this year. Stamp it now.
My confidence has dwindled. But you sweep the Rockies, which, I mean, once again, I think that you could probably put Carson and I at the corner infield spots, and we could maybe sweep the Rockies. But sweep the Rockies, and I'm back in. If you win the series, nope, not back in. Need a sweep. Has to be a sweep. Only option. Sweep the Rockies, I'm back in. That put us 5 games over 500 at the break. I'd take that all day long. Carson, if I told you to read your 500 or 5 games over 500 at the break, would you take it at the start of the year?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. If we do that, if we sweep the Rockies, we'll probably be 2 games, 1 game back of the wild card. I'm now done. The Cubs are too good. The division, that's a done deal. But that wild card spot will be there. And one of the teams in the NL Central, whether it's the Brewers or the Cardinals or us, will take that spot. So I hate both of those teams respectfully.
I got one more question for you. Is the McDonald's Diet Coke on the cards today? Is feeling fancy this Friday?
I mean, does a 3-legged dog walk in a circle? Yeah, there's a McDonald's Diet Coke on the docket today. Are you kidding me? I wish we could be sponsored by McDonald's Diet Coke. joke. I mean, you can go ahead and take that to the bank and take that deposit in. That's
Yeah.
a stone cold guarantee.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
McDonald's, if you're watching, this guy loves your Diet Coke.
I do. Got it from my mother, unfortunately. Yeah, I do. That'll be an on the way to head that direction, little Diet Coke stop, start the weekend, right? Because it'll be the last one before it turns into Sprites, if you know what I mean. So, hey, like you said, if we haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that. So hope the Reds get a big sweep. Kentucky's defense is going to be elite. Hope everybody has an outstanding weekend. And we'll see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.